Hey guys, time for another toy review. This time I'm doing the Mattel Retro Action Real Ghostbusters figure. Obviously here I got Egon Spangler. And before we start talking about the toy here, let's look at the packaging real quick. I just picked this guy up a couple days ago and got him at my local Toys R Us. I'm not sure if it's an exclusive to Toys R Us. But anyways, here's the packaging here. And as you can see, it says Retro Action Real Ghostbusters, and it's modeled obviously after the 80s cartoon series The Real Ghostbusters. So the packaging's pretty simple. Obviously here's where the figure goes, and it says Egon Spangler right there, and it shows the 4 Ghostbusters and Mr. Stay Puft. I'm not sure if they have a figure of him. I didn't see him on the shelf, but maybe they do. I haven't checked online to see what all the figures are in this series here. And then on the back here, it just shows some more artwork here, obviously from the cartoon series. And there's Winston, Peter, Ray, Egon. They show Slimer and Janine. I'm not sure, again, if there's figures of those coming out for this or not. Anyways, let's go and look at the actual figure here. Let's just kind of bring him back. As you can see, he's a larger figure here. Quickly, for a little size comparison, I'm just going to throw a little Pursuit of Cobra figure in here and just kind of pan down there. There's the Cobra Shock Trooper, so yeah, he's roughly about 2 times the size, or maybe a little bit more than that. So I guess he's about I don't know, he's about a 8 to 10 inch figure, or maybe, yeah, 12 inch almost. So yeah, he's basically a big doll. And let's kind of zoom in here and just take a look at him. And as you can see, they did a pretty good job modeling after the cartoon versions of themselves. So it definitely looks like the version of Egon from the original 80s cartoon. He's got the big kind of blonde, swirly pompadour hairdo there, and his little red glasses. So that's pretty cool. I really like the way they did the head sculpt there. And the uniform looks pretty cartoon accurate. Again, if you compare it with what we saw in the packaging there, it does look very similar. And let's just kind of pan on down here and just kind of look at the rest of him. Now he's got the little jumpsuit here. His is kind of almost a teal colored bluish green here. Not sure how well that's showing up on the camera, with obviously the little pink highlights here and there. It's got the little was it like elbow pads here? These just kind of slide on there. They're kind of not really like an elbow pad because there's no actual pad here on the back side. And as you can see there's a little Ghostbuster logo there. I think this is kind of like just a sticker. I'm not sure how they did this here. Maybe it's glued on though. It seems pretty secure, so it doesn't look like it's going to peel off on you here. And again, this is all cloth. And let's kind of go on down here. He's got his little utility belt there, which is rubber, and I believe it's removable. And let's go on down. Just his regular pants. No knee pads. I'm not sure if they had the knee pads on there. Let me check the package again. And no, they don't show it. So yeah, it is very cartoon accurate. I believe on the movie they did have knee pads though, if I remember correctly. Anyways, as you can see here, he's got his little black boots. And if you kind of slide this up here, obviously there's his leg and his boots. I'm not sure if you can remove these or not. I wouldn't recommend doing it in case you kind of break the figure, but it doesn't look like they're made to really come off. Let's stand him up here and kind of look at him on the back now. Just kind of go out a bit. And obviously he's got the proton pack here, which again modeled after the cartoon version of the proton pack, so it's kind of simple looking, not a whole lot of detail to it, but it looks like what was on the cartoon series. And if we kind of lift this up here, yes, it does look like the little belt here is removable. There's like a little tab here going through the little hole or hoop there. Now let's talk about his accessories. The only real accessories he has here is the proton pack, which is removable, and a little was it a PKA or PKE meter? Can't remember which way it went, but there it is there. And let's just kind of get that on the camera there. So that's what it is there. Again, it's just modeled after the cartoon version of it, so it's kind of simple, not a lot of detail. The back's kind of hollow here, which is a little bit of a disappointment. I do wish that they would have had this able to clip on his belt here somewhere, or maybe even on the proton pack. Doesn't look like there's any place to put that, which is a little bit of a disappointment. And like I was saying, this is removable. It's just some little like rubber straps here. Probably a little difficult to put on. I had to put it on by swinging his arms back this way and kind of pinching them together and sliding it over. So yeah, and if you look in here, his chest is just kind of just black. So I guess he's supposed to be wearing like a black t-shirt underneath there. But the jumpsuit is removable. There's a little piece of Velcro right in here. So I guess if you take the proton pack off, you can take off the jumpsuit. Not sure why you'd really want to, but you can do that, it seems. His glasses here are just kind of glued in place, it looks like, so they kind of slide around a little bit. And like we were saying here, the proton pack, this part does unhook here like so. And it's just on this little flexible rubber hose thing here. It's not removable, it doesn't look like. Probably don't want to bend this too much because it's kind of soft and it might want to wear out on you or crack or break over time. But you can make him hold it here in his hand. It fits in there. And if you got to kind of work him. These straps here are a little tight. It kind of hampers the motion here of his shoulder joints a little bit. But if you do something like this, if you kind of place his hands just right, you can kind of make him hold it. And like I was saying, these ones here, his wrists here, I don't know, they just don't want to quite line up just right. But you can make them hold it like so, something like this. So yeah, you can kind of have them hold it in the little proton thrower there, like that. Again, these kind of get in the way here, so if you put them on, they might kind of impede the movement of his shoulder joints there. Anyways, talking about the movement of the figure here and the joints and stuff, let's talk about the articulation on this guy. Just store that away here, like so. One thing I noticed on mine, I'm not sure if this is something common with all these guys, this is the only one I got, is the legs here at the hips are very kind of loose. Let's just kind of pan out here. If you kind of look, they kind of flop around, see, like that. So yeah, they're kind of real loose on the hips, so it makes standing him a little awkward. He kind of wants to slump a little bit, but if you kind of straighten him out and give him a little wider stance, it stands pretty well. It's not real top heavy or anything like that. But as far as the articulation goes on this guy, you can rotate his head here just left and right, doesn't look up and down. The shoulder joints here go up and down, again kind of stiff because of the cloth and the little straps here. And you can kind of rotate them here. Looks like they got like a little swivel to them, and they can kind of go up and down like this, again very stiff. Can bend at the elbows. I don't think there's any forearm rotation, but you can rotate the wrists and bend the wrists like that. Same thing on this side. The waist here can kind of pivot around, rotate, go up and down. I guess it's like on kind of like a little bit of like a ball joint almost like. The hips we kind of looked at are loose, so these rotate all around, similar to like if a G.I. Joe figure or something like that. The knees bend here like so, and the feet can rotate, but sadly there's no ankle movement because it's all one big boot. So yeah, it is very retro in that sense, that it doesn't have a great range of articulation or a lot of joints to it. But you can put this in his hand. I think you can put it in either hand. Does look like it's made to fit in this hand though more, because it is a little wider here as opposed to here, but you can fit it in there. Although I'd probably be a little wary of putting it in here because I might want to stretch this out because it's just kind of a soft rubber here. But you can do that, just have him kind of holding it there. Like I said, I got these guys at Toys R Us. I guess they're just hitting the stores because I hadn't seen them there the last couple times I went, and just this past week or so I went and saw him there. So they had him and Peter. Those are the only two that I saw at my Toys R Us. So apparently they're out. These guys go for 20 bucks and $19.99, and in my opinion that's a little on the pricey side for what you're actually getting. You're not getting the greatest articulation, and the accessories are a little lacking. Like, they give you this guy here, he doesn't have the little ghost trap. You know, maybe he could have came with like a little clipboard. I think that would have been kind of cool. Or his little calculator. And there's no real way to store this thing on him, which is kind of disappointing. So yeah, I think the price on these are a little on the pricey side, because you figure 20 bucks a pop, and if you want to get all four, you know, you're talking what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80 bucks just for 4 figures. I don't know. Again, I think maybe if they got these guys down to like $10 or $15, it'd be a little bit more reasonable. But they're not bad figures. I plan on probably picking up the rest, at least the other 3 actual Ghostbuster figures. I'm not sure about the Mr. Stay Puft or Slimer or Janine. I'll see if they have those. I might get those just for the heck of it. But anyways, these guys are out in your Toys R Us at least, maybe even online. So if you're into Ghostbusters, these are a pretty cool toy to have. So I'd say go out and get one. Anyways, that'll do it for my look here at Mattel's Retro Action Real Ghostbuster figure.